Hello everybody and welcome to Gregg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm working to restore history one piece at a time. Tonight we're going to be looking at the 1937 Philco 077 signal generator that I bought off eBay about a year and a half ago. I haven't messed with it. I've had it over by my tube bench for all that time, covered up so it wouldn't get damaged. The short story of that was I had seen Bob Anderson restore one. I also saw Larry over Back to the Future Radios restore one. I really liked the looks of that brass front plate. It was just beautiful in my opinion. And so I sent out on a search to find one, and I couldn't find one. I searched for a couple weeks, couldn't find one. And in the process I found that Philco 7070 signal generator, and I purchased it. And I restored that one. If you guys haven't seen that video, there's a playlist on that, the Philco 7070. So since I just finished that RCA 87K radio, and I just finished the little RCA signal generator, I decided that I would take a break from the radios and go ahead and do the Philco 077 signal generator. So that's what we're going to start with part one tonight. We'll take a look at it. I'll take it apart. I'll do some work on it, and we'll leave it at that. And then hopefully in part two we'll finish it up. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Hey guys, I thought I'd introduce you to my next project. I decided to take a break from the radios and get into another signal generator. You guys know me, been watching me long enough, you know that I really like signal generators. This particular signal generator I got about a year and a half ago. It was right after I restored that Philco 7070 signal generator. And if you look in my playlist, you'll see the 7070 signal generator if you haven't seen it before. It was big. It was about as big as this, probably maybe a little bit bigger. It's not quite as wide, but it's taller, and it had feet on both the bottom as well as the back. This one only has feet on the bottom. This signal generator is from the mid-1930s, and it was created by Philco for use by their service teams, and it was considered state-of-the-art at that time as far as accuracy. They compared it with accuracy of laboratory instruments, so pretty excited to get it. The story behind it is I had seen Bob Anderson. You guys probably all know Bob Anderson that restores a lot of the televisions. I saw him do one of these and I just loved the look of it. I loved this whole brass front. And I was like, oh man, I want one of those. And it was shortly thereafter that I saw Larry at Back to the Future restore one as well. So I started doing a search on eBay and couldn't find it and couldn't find it. And that's how I found the 7070. And so I bought the 7070, which I love, and it restored up beautifully. But I still was looking for one of these, and about 3 weeks after I finished the 7070, this came available. And I bid on it, and I got it. I think I got it for like $40 and 16 shipping or something like that. And it's been sitting on my bench over in the other workshop by my tube testers, covered with some clean towels ever since I got it. So I figured since I finished that RCA 87K, I was going to treat myself to getting this puppy going. So this is going to be a quick look at this. Not really necessarily part one, but a quick look at it to show you guys what it looks like here, what we got. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit, make it a little bit bigger for you. So anyway, it's actually in pretty good shape. I mean, for its age. Obviously, you got the handles are rotted off. Here's the rest of it. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to come up with this somewhere. I bet you on Etsy I could find a leather handle for this thing. But if I found one with like a buckle, then I'd be able to stick it in there. Otherwise I'll have to drill the rivets and do something with that, which I may have to do that anyway, because obviously that stuff needs to be polished up. It's all corroded. Serial number stamped in there. I don't know how to read the serial number as far as what it means. It's looks like F93409, I think. That could be an 8 too. I can't see it that well. The outer cabinet, it's not great. I mean, it's no big dents. I mean, it needs a repaint. You can see the paint's all chipped off. It's kind of a texture paint. There's the side. There's a little bit of a dent right here. And these are not, that's not paint, that's actually worn off like it was against something. I don't know what it got up against. Back's kind of beat up, but not horrible. Bottom. The feet are there, but the felts are off, pretty much gone. So I'll have to redo that. I hear something flopping inside, that's always a bad sign. The good thing about it, there's the plug, and the good thing about it is it came with the cord, and I don't know if it's the original cord or not, but it is the cord that plugs into it. So I see it's been spliced and everything else, so I'll be putting a polarized cord on it, but using this end. So well, we're good. I'm glad it at least came with a cord. So I guess we should take it apart. Let's get a screwdriver and see if we can start taking this apart a little bit. These screws are all brass. This front plate is brass. So go ahead and pull all those screws out. I'm also going to pull the knobs off. I just noticed this knob is broken. Got a hole in the top, probably from somebody slamming something down on top of it. I may be able to just epoxy that knob up. I should be able to epoxy that. That's probably what I'll do to fix that. I'll pull the rest of these off before the rest of them get broken. I'll go ahead and get the rest of these screws out and we'll come back. Okay, so I got all the screws out. I have this screw and this screw out. They're holding components from the back side, I'm assuming. One of the reasons I really wanted to get this off is because I wanted to take this thin brass plate off. There's a heavier metal plate behind this, but if I could get the brass plate off, then I can protect it as well as I can get back here. This has, I don't know if you can see the camera, get the angle just right. There's a dent, pretty good dent right here, here and here. There's like a series of 3 of them. And I could probably roll that out from the back side somewhat and make that look a little better when I finish this. But there's 2 set screws in that. And I got the one out or loose. And the other one, I can't get this to get it. I had a small screwdriver bit, a little bit smaller than this one, that I hooked up to my ratchet and stuck in there, and it snapped the tip off of it. Luckily it didn't break the set screw head, but it broke the screwdriver. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do to get that off there, but I really do want to get it off there. I'm not going to worry about it right now, because I want to open this up and see what we got inside. So I can turn this so you guys can get a better view as I pull this up. I got to get out of the heavier plate. There we go. Alright, well, it's hardwired, and there's something flopping around in here, which is not good because it looks like it's a coil of some sort. It's just kind of flopping around. I hope you guys are in camera and you saw that. There's a coil right here just flopping around in the wind. So if it's flopping around, then probably there's going to be problems with it. We've got tubes in here though. Tubes look good. Transformer looks decent. I'm going to see if I can get a couple of these wires loose so I can separate this. Desolder these. Get these 2 wires for the primary of the transformer loose. And then I'll be able to separate the case off. It has a little decal in here. That's kind of interesting, kind of cool. Yeah, so let me get this off of here and I'll bring you back. Okay, so I got those wire loose. I want to show you something, and this has significance. So this is one of the caps, across the line caps. Well, line to ground caps. You can see it's original. Still original stuffing in there. If we go over to the actual unit, somebody's been in there. Somebody put some new electrolytics in there. Somebody put some new caps there. Now, I don't see any new, what I would consider new resistors or anything in, but here's that coil that was loose. I'm hoping that's not bad. Here's another original cap that hasn't been stuffed. So somebody was in here and jerry-rigged it around, and I don't know if they found it had a bad transformer, and so they put it on eBay, or what. So I'm going to have to do some major checking on this sucker before I get too deep into it. I just hope that transformer is okay, and I'm hoping that this, probably a choke of some sort, is okay. But yeah, I thought I'd show you that. I'm a little disappointed now that I see that it's been jerry-rigged. Let me go ahead and I want to get this back on top of this with a rag between it so it don't scratch the brass, but it'll make it easier for me to do some work on it. Okay, I'm getting ready to test the transformer, the power transformer, and make sure that it's okay. I'm really nervous now because knowing that somebody did some work on it and then put it on eBay kind of makes me nervous, thinking that there's something wrong with it is the reason they did that. So we're going to test it and see what we come up with here. We'll turn the multifunction panel on, and we will turn on the meter, and we'll put it on the ohm scale, and going by the schematic here, if you guys can see that, I should be able to check the secondaries on that 6x5 plates, on the plates of the 6x5, and then the primaries on the back side of the switch and the ground circuit, or the neutral circuit I guess you'd call it. It is ground on this particular. So let's go with the primaries first. So this side of the switch and here. And we got 70.3 ohms. So that sounds good on the primary. So that's that part. That's 50% of it. Now we got to hope for the secondaries, and that's usually where you have your failures at. And we can do that on the plates of that 6x5 G-tube, which is terminals 3 and terminal 6. So there's terminal 3 is 1, 2, 3 here. If I can get on it, maybe. And terminal 6 right here, if I can get on it. That's not getting a good bite. There we go. 697.5, 698. Okay, well, good. 697, 698 ohms for the secondary. I'm happy because that means that they're not open. Now, I believe this is a choke, and I can probably check it as well. I can find the ends of it. So we got one here. Might have looks like it might have a tap on it maybe. I think we can go from here and here. And we got 1.9K, so 1900 ohms there. And I see another wire right here. So let's go to this one. And that's 3.5K, so 3500. So if we had 17 and 17, that'd be about right. So that one must be the center tap. So let's see. So if I go from here to here, 1600. So okay, so that is good. I just need to get it back in place and epoxy it back on to the mount. So now I'm happy because the major components that I can see here are probably okay. I can test the tubes to see how those are. I got to figure out what I got to have to possibly order. If I need tubes, I'll need tubes. And I know there's a couple micas I'm probably going to replace. So let me get that figured out. Okay, so more good news. I just tested the 3 tubes and they all test good. So I'm happy with that. Now, I was just kind of looking this over a little bit, and I was going to zoom in and show you something. So this guy, whoever did this, just took the easy caps or something here. You can see here, the screwdriver. You got a new cap here, you got a new cap down there, and here's an old cap. And that old cap looks like it originally attached right here to this coil. So I hope that coil is okay. I'm going to have to make sure that's where that goes, but I don't know if that just broke off. But the bottom line is he didn't change the old cap. He changed them over here, but he didn't change this one. Well, anybody would leave the paper caps in, just like the line caps in there, but why would you not stuff it? If you're going to go this route, why would you not stuff it? So I got a lot of checking to do on this thing as far as checking these components, and I'm going to bring you back when I get some more checks done on this thing and figure out what I'm going to do. Okay, I'll show you what I'm doing here. I started on the cabinet here. So I think I might have a little paint time tomorrow. I might have enough to get it to paint. So there was some rust inside down at the bottom. And I've got rust remover on it right now, Loctite rust resolver. I've also got it on these clasp portions that hold the handle on there. There was a bunch of rust here on the side. I've got it on the side there. And there wasn't much on the back, but the back's pretty scarred up. I got some there. And there, of course, the side. So I was looking for some black texture paint, because that's actually black texture paint that's on there. And I couldn't find any in the store. But I started thinking about this. And I saw this, truck bed coating. And the color's about right. I'm not sure how textured this is going to come up. It says it's textured. Textured non-skid finish. Abrasion resistant. I mean, this is a tool, and I'm wondering how that'll work on there. I think I'm going to give it a shot, and then we'll see how it turns out. The first thing I got to do is get these 2 clasps off of here, and I think I'm going to probably grind the rivets off on the bottom side there. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that type of rivet to put those back. I'm hoping that I can. I'll probably have to order something. But if I can find them, I'll put them back with the rivets. If I can't find them, I'll put them back with like brass head screws. But I have to have them off anyway, because if I get a new handle for it, I got to be able to get the handle in there. So I need them off to paint it. And so that's the plan. Also there's a decal in there. I got that off so I can glue that back. Once this rust remover is done removing rust, I'm going to take out my kitchen sink and scrub the living hell out of it, and take a light sand to it, try and smooth down some of these rough edges where the paint got scarred, and we'll see how that truck bed lighting works. If I don't like it, I guess I can sand it all off, but I have a feeling it's going to turn out okay. And maybe, if I have to, I could always paint over it, but I'm thinking it's going to be fine. I'm going to give it a shot, see how it turns out. I'm willing to try anything once. Okay, so what I just got through doing is restuffing this Bakelite cap, which on the schematic, get it turned right side up, is this one right here, the 2.15s. Now I didn't have 0.15s, so I used 0.1s, and I didn't have 0.1 or 0.15 safety Y caps, so I just used 630 volt normal 0.1 caps, and I'm not too worried about it. And the main reason I'm not too worried about it is the caps that were in it for the last 80 years were not safety rated caps. and I'm sure the quality of today's caps is much better than these caps. So I think that no more use than this signal generator is going to use in my lifetime. I think it's going to be perfectly fine. So that's that, and I'm getting ready to do the other one now, which is this one, which is the one on this side. I'm going to do it the same way, but I figured I would heat it up and pop the caps out and kind of show you. I've showed it to you before, but didn't necessarily work real well because I didn't get it as hot as I probably should have, and I got to be careful on this because I don't want to heat my coils up. Let's see if that's hot enough to push it out. Yep. Now see how clean that comes out when you actually get it hot enough. If you guys can see in there, perfectly clean. Comes out in one perfectly clean chunk. So now I'll go ahead and get my other two caps in there, and we'll finish this one up. Okay, there they are. Both of the filter caps are restuffed. 0.1 capacitor, 630 volt, a little overkill, but I think it'll be fine. Again, bah humbug to you naysayers saying it should have been a Y safety cap. Yes, I know it, but like I said, it's lived 100 years, or probably it's lived 80 years without them. You can live another 80 without them. So I shot that cabinet today with that bed liner paint, and I couldn't be happier with the way that it turned out. I mean, it looks, you can still make out the serial number there, and it looks just basically just like the paint that was on it. And it's textured perfectly, and the color is pretty much identical. It really turned out nice. I'm very impressed with that. It was a whim that I saw it in the store, and I decided to give it a shot, and it worked great. I'm very happy with that.